Hi, Stitchy friends. It's Stitching Bunny. It's so good to see you all. I'm back finally. I just checked, and my last video was June 26th, so I've been gone well over a month. Probably about a month, 5 weeks or so. We have moved. Hopefully I will be able to get that video of my new stitching room attached to this one. If not, I'll try and post it separately. It was just a quick view of what my new stitching empire is here. I have a beautiful room. My husband gave me this room, and there's a room, this is a tri-level. So this room is the front of the house on the top floor. So I have my beautiful windows for my stitching. And down on the third level is the same room, a little bit larger, and that's my quilt studio that also has the 3 beautiful windows, but it has windows also on the other wall where my cutting table is. So those two, the biggest rooms in the house, my husband gave to me for my studio, for stitching bunny bags and my quilting, and this room for my stitching. We do use this room a lot, though. He's in here every morning with me, and we have coffee, and the puppies are in here, and this is where we start our day pretty much every day of the week. So he also enjoys this room. But anyway, getting back to what we're here for, which is cross stitch. This is my Flosstube video number 9, and today is Sunday, August 6th, 2023, and I have a ton of stuff, just a ton of stuff that I have to show you. I have haul, I have whips, I have finished objects, I have 2 huge boxes of things that I uncovered with the move that had been stored in the basement for probably, anywhere from 10 to 15 years on. There's a box that was smalls that are all projects that I finished. They're little smalls that need to be finished into something else, which they have not been. There's a stack of them, so I'd like to at least show you those. There's also my very first cross stitch in there that was done on Ada. I really need to frame that one or do something with it, quilt it, whatever, and hang it in this room since it's seen its 50th anniversary. It's probably time to display it. There's several mistakes in it. It certainly is not an attractive piece, but it was something I wanted to, was told it was easy to start with. I had a friend that used to ride the train with me when I lived in Illinois and outside of Chicago, and we commuted to downtown Chicago for work every day on the train. So we had a lot of stitching time. She got on the train before I did, maybe 2 or 3 stops prior to me getting on, and she'd always get us a good seat, and we'd stitch all the way downtown, and then in the evening we'd stitch on the way home. So she taught me how to stitch. I was a needlepointer at that time, and I was watching her stitch with it, just the tiny threads, and I was fascinated. So she taught me to stitch, and that's all they wrote. So we need to get started because we have an awful lot of stuff to look at today. I'll see how it's going. I might have to stop this and kind of pick it up in a couple of days to finish it off. I don't know how many of you, can hang in there with me for any length of time and tolerate me and my talking for, especially, not having seen me for 5 or 6 weeks. Takes a lot of getting used to again, But anyway, get your needlework out, whatever you're working on, whatever you want to stitch on. Get your favorite beverage, put your feet up, and let's dive into this and just see how it goes. I also have to admit that I'm rusty. The move has taken a lot out of me beside, me having memory issues anyway. But I have forgotten a lot of this order and, what can I say? My etiquette. But bear with me. We're going to try to get that back as we go along. This is, let's see. I guess we should probably start with my whips because I did stitch on a few things. Since the last video was the day before my birthday, I don't believe I had started this. It was supposed to be a start. Maybe I did start it. Well, I don't remember now. I'll have to check my notes, but it's not really important when I started it. This is Whilst Iris Naps. It's a reproduction that she did that was an exclusive from home, the Homespun Needlework Facebook group. It's done on a 40 count Thornfield by Linen and Flax. And if I did show it to you, I could not have had too much done, but I have been kind of plugging away at it in the evenings. Let's see if I can get my board up here. Again, we're playing this by ear, guys. So bear with me. It's a whole new setup, and I'm discombobulated. Okay, this is my Mary Gibson 1828. I can see already we're going to probably have issues with this window light. My little dog just broke in. So I've got the top border and the side border done, so that I know that I'm, hopefully I can meet up when I work on the rest. I don't think I'm going to finish the other side border until I get more work done. I like to have something to match up, rather than just counting and making sure that I'm in the right spot. But this is just the most beautiful stitch. I'm doing this in DMC, and I think it's just looking marvelous. I love the border. I love everything about it so far. This is the one that has the two red houses on the bottom. Oh my God. Has my little cherubs. Has my berry bowls, my trees. There's nothing on here that I don't love. So it was the perfect one to start for my birthday. So that one's coming along. And then besides this big one, I've kind of been ignoring any other old whips. I'd like to put this away if you don't mind, so I don't lose track of my things. Because if I don't put them away now, they're going to wind up in Never Never Land somewhere. Okay. That was my birthday stitch. Then, as I said, I was working on some smalls. I do have a small that I started and finished, so we'll show that to you in a minute. But this is one I'm currently working on. I decided it was time for something fallish, and this seems very fall to me. I know you've seen this, a lot of people have stitched this, are stitching it. It's from the Artsy Housewife, and it's Byron Blackbird. I just love him. Look at his face. I'm a big bird lover anyway, and if he isn't just the epitome of Halloween and fall and Thanksgiving and everything, as they say, the Burr months, they start next month, September, October, November, December. Oh, love it. My time of year is coming. So that's Byron Blackbird. That's the chart, and this is how far I've gotten. So I just started this yesterday, but I am already intrigued. And this is being done on, let's see, it's on my board here. It is being done, I moved it. It's 40 count, I believe it's called Dusk, and it's by Fiber on a Whim. That looks very bluish. It's more of a gray, like a stormy gray. Please ignore my floss. I was stitching right before I decided to do the video. So that's what I've got done, and I'm working around so I can kind of start working on Byron. And again, I like to count off of, things that I know I've worked off the border and I know they're in the right place, so that Byron winds up in the right spot. So that's what I have there. So that's a current project. And then the last one I did, that was a whip, and I finished it off. Bear with me. Oh, please. Is this one. And, besides, wanting to stitch stuff for the new house and the new stitching room, I've, gone between stitching things, you know, stitching related projects, I should say. And this one I just love. This is almost a brand new one. This is from Teresa Kogut. And it's Stitchy Bird. Isn't he cute? Standing on a skein of floss. Got the stork scissors. He's stitching in his hoop, which is what I do. I only stitch in hoops. And by the way, I only stitch in hoops that are antiques. I don't buy new hoops. I buy hoops off of eBay or wherever where they've been used. The older they are, the better. I do like them in nice shape and not all rusty and stuff, but I do use wooden hoops, and they're all have been previously used by stitchers, which means an awful lot to me. Since I love samplers, samplers is my main love. To feel close to those little girls that stitched so many years ago and left these beautiful, beautiful works of art for us, I feel like I'm closer to them by using old hoops. And if I ever have the opportunity to get my hands on, is it the Queen that has the dial closure on it that, you know, go for hundreds of dollars? Totally out of my budget, but oh my God, every time I see one of those I think, well, I mean, no. No. Especially after this move and paying the movers and paying the, you know, having the real estate bill coming and all of this stuff. Yeah, it's not my budget, but those, I would die to have one of those. Anyway, this is my Stitchy Bird. And nothing is ironed, because the iron is 2 levels down in my quilt studio, and I was just too lazy and too tired from working on boxes this morning to take all of this stuff downstairs and press it. So I'm afraid you have to work around the hoop marks. You can tell it was just freshly stitched, though. I just love this chart. He's got a needle in his beak and a great hairdo. So that's that one. And that was my finish. I have one other finish I was talking about a lot before my birthday, because if you've watched my videos before, you know that my mom and I shared a birthday. And my mom, who is no longer with me, would have been 100 this year on our birthday. And we always celebrated our birthday together up until the very last one. And I thought it was time that I stitch something especially for my mom, for her birthday, for our birthday, to commemorate the occasion. And so I was working on this. I put the chart away, but this is by Scarlet House, and it's Mark Well, I think maybe is the name of the pattern. And I think I had the stitching done the last time, but I didn't have my mom's name in it. I hadn't charted it. So that is what I did. That's her name and her birth and death year. And I'm so pleased with how it turned out. I think she'd be pleased too, and she will be honored to be up on the wall when I eventually can put things up on the wall. In fact, our normal segment of Off the Wall, we're going to have to skip today, because right now everything is off the wall. So I thought it was just kind of too, I mean, they're in boxes all over the house. The rooms that we haven't cleaned up yet, they're stashed everywhere. And we keep moving them to try to finish, you know, cleaning or, you know, setting up a room. And then they have a tendency to get moved back in, and, you know, so we keep shoving these things, you know, shuffling them around for the last 2 or 3 weeks that we've been in the house here. We've made a lot of progress, but there's a lot more to be made. This moving stuff is not funny. I refuse to ever do this again. They'll pry my cold dead body out of this house, or out of the home, or wherever I wind up a few years from now when I'm going down yonder. Yeah, I'm never doing that again. At this age, what a mistake. But we had to do it. I'm glad we're out of the old house, and we're not leaving that responsibility to a family member that just should not have to deal with it. So, that was my finished objects. I did have to make notes because I don't remember what we're doing here in order. I do have one thing I wanted to share. I normally don't look for these in particular, but this one was so cute. And still, since it is still early August, this is a freebie that was online. It's from Silver Creek Samplers, and I believe it was on the website or a blog, or if you, I'm sure if you, it's brand new. I mean, she just put it on there within like the last week or so, I believe. But it's Dog Days, and there's a color picture. I just think that is the cutest thing. Now I'm going to have to change the color of the doggy a little bit. I think I'll make it my little Rosie because she's the one that's from Texas. My black lab Madison is from Madison, Wisconsin. So she's not really, the heat isn't the same to her as it is to my little Texas dog. So I'm going to have to make it look more like Rosie, but I love that. So that's a freebie from Silver Creek Samplers, and thank you very much. I am going to stitch that. I love it. So that's that. Let's see. I'm going to look at the side of my head a lot today because I have stuff. I still don't have it organized here where, I did in the other room. Before we get into showing you these old things, I think the other thing I'd like to do is mention a new Flosstuber that I just found today. And this is her first floss tube, and I believe it's been out for several days, so maybe you've caught it already. But she's Beth from Stitching in My Pajamas. And if nothing else, any of you stitchers who love samplers and stitch samplers and just admire old samplers, she is recording in whatever room in her home that it is, surrounded by antique samplers. And it's her and her sister are both sampler collectors. I believe she does have, her and her sister have started a business to reproduce a lot of their samplers in their collections. And it's called mysisterssamplers.com, I believe. But, you can check through her Flosstube, which is, as I said, Stitching in My Pajamas. I haven't had a chance to check out the website yet, but I will. Just looking at those samplers. And she herself is just a tremendous stitcher. Some of the first projects this woman has done, unbelievable. I would assume that a lot of you ladies know her. It seems that she's familiar with the attic and probably have been to a lot of those type retreats that are just for the magnificent stitchers. I always picture ladies that go to the attic or hobby house now, or there's a few other shops that are just like the exclusive stitchers, and I'm just totally jealous. But it seems that she's been to some of those retreats, and so obviously I would think that some of you ladies know her. In fact, she's mentioned that between her and Sylvia with running with needles and scissors or something. I'm so terrible. I should have written all of that down. But Sylvia is a friend of hers, and then one other lady, Lady Herzah, I believe it is. She's also a new Flosstuber. It was between the three of them that they, talked each other into doing floss tubes. So I believe she's probably very well known in the sampler community, but she's new to me. And I'm going to definitely, I subscribed right away and, rang the bell and left her a note. And then at the very end, there was a very nice surprise for me. At the very end of her video, she's doing her haul, and she mentions that one of her friends had purchased or had this project roll, and she was interested in it. Found out where the woman purchased it, I guess, and went to my Etsy shop. And, couldn't decide, do I really need this? Do I need this? And, well, she did order one from me, and she was showing it. And it happened to have been one of my favorites that I've done. It was the William Morris Strawberry Thief fabric. And so she showed that, and it was a total surprise to me. I had no idea. That I don't know know her in the stitching community, but I certainly know her now. And I did thank her for being happy with the item she purchased from me, and thanked her for doing that and for showing it. So thank you, Beth. We could be friends. I admire you already so much. And I did want to mention that. So ladies, check out her video. I'm sure, you'll be as impressed as I was if you're not familiar with her. If you are familiar with her, it's probably old hat seeing, some of these gorgeous pieces she's done. But, oh, my God, it never hurts to look at them again. I'd love to see them in person. Anyway, thank you very much, Beth. And I hope you have a chance to check out my video if you haven't. Okay, I think what we're going to do is probably, let's do my oldest whips first, rather than doing just the small ones that I have completed, because there's kind of more interesting stuff. And I think that this is a whole brand new box. I don't think you ladies saw any of these from my previous whip parades, from my old things that I keep uncovering. I hate to admit I have this many old whips, but I do. So, Now, I think there's been 2 videos where I've done old whips that I've pulled out and said, why haven't I finished these? And doing that, I had found a couple that I had the charts for, and I couldn't find the pieces. And I'm usually pretty good about keeping that stuff together. But for some reason, there were a couple of things that had been separated. And this was one of them. And I came across, I'm a Santa collector, and I love stitching Santas, but I love stitching Santas that look real. I'm not really that. Once in a while I'll do a cutesy one. I did one last year for little Rosie for her first Christmas with us. That's her with Santa, kind of a cutesy little pattern. But normally I don't stitch those. I'll do those in smalls. But when I do a Santa, it's usually things like this. And this is one of the Leisure Arts ones that I had the chart for, and I knew I had started. I didn't realize I had that much finished on him. But he is I think he's just gorgeous. And I don't know, no, I don't have the back stitching in on his face yet. When the back stitching goes in, oh my Lord. And I think I had mentioned 2 the last time. It might have been maybe a Flosstube prior, like maybe number 7 or so. Maybe it was 8, where I did the old whips. That I was going to set all of those aside and put them in a separate diary, and start working on some of those and keeping track of them with the information that I have on them. Whether, like, I have no idea. This is probably like a 36 count something or other, but I didn't keep track of what I was stitching with or on or any of that. So that's what I want to do, and I'm going to, as you noticed, I have a couple boxes of projects around, but I am going to do that, because now that I've pulled these out and I see these, they're so close to being finished, they're so close to my heart, that I just want to get them done. So that was that one that I don't have the chart out for. It's in one of these boxes. This is another one. Now, I haven't come across a chart for this. I have the piece, but I haven't found the chart yet. But my whole packing for my room is not undone yet. So, okay. This is one that's a huge piece. It's a desk, I believe, with cross-stitch items. That you see the floss there, the brass lamp. There's a teacup and, pin cushion. And I don't remember too much more of what else is on that. Maybe you ladies can help me if you've seen this piece before. I'm sure the chart will show up, at least I hope it will, because that's gorgeous. And this has got to be on 40 count, I would think. This looks awfully tiny. But there's that one. Then there's this, and I believe this is a long dog sampler. I could be wrong about that, because again, I don't think I found the chart for this one. And love the colors. Now, there's no floss or anything with this one either, so I don't know what happened with this one, but it looks like I have a good portion done. I'm sure there's a lot more to it. That humongous caterpillar just, you know, is the bee's knees, as we say. Isn't that neat? So again, I don't know what this is. I'm sure I can start doing some research, but if somebody knows off the top of their head, you know, don't go digging around and, you know, causing yourself headaches to find it. I'm sure I probably can come across it, but I know now that there's still more stuff that I haven't found, because I would not have gotten rid of these charts. I can't believe. I mean, I have sold or you know, donated so many charts. Maybe I'll find out it is gone, but I sure would like to get another copy of it and be able to finish that up. Then there's this one, and this is my own mistake, I think. This is not finished. It's a blackbird. I no longer have this chart because I have all of my blackbirds together. I have not found anything else that would be a blackbird chart that I don't have, you know, right now, separated out into that part of my stash. So I can't finish it. I don't know the name of it. I don't know if it was a book or if it was a separate chart. If somebody could let me know, maybe, you know, where it was, if it was in a book, or if it was one of the like loose feathers or something, what the name of it was or number, so I could start maybe looking on a secondary market. I can imagine that, you know, it's going to be quite costly, but it might just wind up staying like this, because I can't I can't fathom paying, you know, $50 or $60 for a chart that I probably just gave away to finish this. But it's a shame. It's really a shame, because it's a beautiful piece. It's on a beautiful piece of linen. I don't know. So if anybody can help me out, please comment. Any information you can give me would be truly appreciated. I think the only chart that I have in here, let's see. Yeah. Oh, I have this chart, and I don't have the piece for it. I don't know if I showed this. Maybe this was on one of my last. See, I'll have to go through those old boxes again and sort those out. The Lady in the Castle, that's a scarlet letter. I know I've started this. I remember stitching those clouds and the sun up on the top, but I'll be darned if I know where it is. So you can help me out with that one, but please, you know, if you know anything about those others, and at least give me a name or somewhere where I can start looking to see if I can replace some of those charts, because I don't think I have those any longer. Charts, I pretty much, I sold so many blackbird charts before I came to my senses. This one, I have the chart. Well, I don't even have the piece for this one, so we won't even bother with that. I don't know if that's an existing piece or not. Then I came across this. I think I might have showed, this is another one I might have showed the last time. That was Christmas at Hawk Run Hollow. So I did find the chart. I think I had all the silk and everything with that piece. So I now have the chart for that one. Let's get to some good stuff here where I have something to show you. Then, oh, this one. I had no idea. I don't remember starting this, but I started it. This is a snooty parrot. I don't want to show you that part. That's the actual graph. Let's see if I have the picture here. Bear with me. Hold, please. Talk amongst yourself. Here it is. It'd be easier if I took this out of here. Okay, here we go. Okay, Barbara Anna Designs, and is my Snooty Parrots sampler. I know a lot of people stitches. This is not a new, this is from 2013, the chart, so I know this has been around a while, and a lot of people have stitches. I did put the linen in here. I'm so proud of myself since it's from 2013. This is being stitched on 40 count Lakeside Vintage Buttercream. And this is where I'm at. Let me see if I can fold this. This one I don't have a lot accomplished, but oh, I still love this chart. I still love it when, you know, ladies are stitching on it. I haven't seen anybody recently, but every so often somebody, you know, crops up and somebody is stitching on it, and I go, oh, I know I have that chart somewhere. I'm going to have to start it. Well, little did I remember that I did start it. So I have quite a bit done, considering it slipped from my memory. But that's that. And that's another one that's going to go in the old new diary and say, we're going to give this some love. We're going to start doing some more, hopefully, some more alternating with my whips. I like the idea, and I can't think now who it was that mentioned that they have a dedicated evening stitch that is something that they're trying to get finished. Whether it's for an occasion, you know, a gift for somebody for a certain occasion, or whatever the circumstances are. But they do have, you know, during the day they stitch whatever they want, and then in the evening it's time for the dedicated stitch. And that's kind of what I've been doing with my birthday stitches here, because I'm just so much enjoying that. But you know, maybe if I do the week or two on it and then, you know, move on to something else. I know I've mentioned before that I'm a stitcher that likes to see something being accomplished, and to work on something for, you know, a couple of hours, or, you know, for 3 days, you know, whatever some people do. I don't see enough being accomplished that way. And once I start on something and get in the groove and I'm really enjoying stitching on it, I hate to put it away. I was doing really good with like a 2-week rotation, so maybe I'll try that again where I actually can work on it. And at that point I probably would be getting, you know, if I'm not close enough to a finish, I probably would be ready to say, okay, you know, I'll set this one down for a while and then work on something else and move that forward. So I think I can do that, and we'll see. You know, we'll see. Mark my words. I'm not promising anything, but I would like to try to do that. I think that would get some of these taken care of. Oh, some of these, it just breaks my heart that I'm finding these that I love. I put a lot of time into already, but I put them aside for whatever reason, and it just breaks my heart. I just want to get back to them. This is a hat, so it really isn't that old, but it did get, it's 2017. It did get moved to that box for whatever reason. Let me get a picture of the cover here for you so you can actually see it. This is Sarah Dawes, circa 1840. And this is, you know, this is an early hat because it's 2017. So, but anyway, that's the chart. She's a BAP, a big ass project. I like to be kind of say she's a big girl. She's a big girl. Okay, that's the graph. And put this back in here because there's pages and I don't want to lose them. I think, let's see if I have what this is being stitched on. This is 40 count, picture this plus sand. And here's my piece. This is what I have done. This is an awfully big piece because I think this is on a fat half. This looks bigger than a fat quarter to me. I do have a needle minder on here. And this is what I have done. Now, with looking at this, let me see if I can get you in there. Maybe I can use my board for this one. Oh, please. Isn't this fun? Am I making you guys dizzy yet? Moving back and forth. Oh, I'm sorry. I promise I'm going to work on getting better again. I thought I was getting better before, and then I took that hiatus, that vacation, as they say. That wasn't a vacation. I haven't been on vacation in so many years, I don't even remember the concept. Okay, I'm getting there, ladies and gentlemen. Bear with me. I have to stop saying ladies because we do have gentlemen stitchers, and I don't want to leave anyone out. Hang on, people. That's what I'll say. Okay, that's a little bit better where you can kind of see. Well, let's see. There's a lot done on her. A lot of the big motifs are done. And then this border, the left side border, I've got probably all the way down. So I like to do that, especially when there are these intricate flower borders. I like to work off of, anything previously. And whether I, was going to go back and start working on this side, I don't know. Who knows? But I still love it. I mean, now that I look at the colors, and this is DMC. When I looked at the project, yeah, that's all done in DMC. It's not silks. Oh, the colors are just gorgeous. They could be silks. I'm sorry, my window here is not good with, it's getting kind of cloudy here too, so we really have kind of a strange lighting situation right now. Well, that's that one. I'll leave my board up here in the front so I'm not hiding from you as much as I was. So that's my big girl there. Put her back in her little bag. And what did I do with my chart? Oh, here it is. Sarah Dawes. Okay. Next, this is an old one. I do remember this. And I stopped because I can tell you exactly why. This is so old that I was still using scroll bars. I haven't used scroll bars in a number of years. Because I found it harder to hold on to them when the arthritis really started acting up in my old age. Let me get the chart out. I'm walking down memory lane here without opening up and showing it to you. Okay, this was from Treasures in Needlework magazine. And this is gorgeous. It's called the American Sampler. And there's the picture. And I can tell you exactly why I stopped this. Because there are 4,337,000 queen stitches in this piece. And when I started this, I had to start this. I absolutely love everything about it, except for the queen stitches. I can do them, I don't enjoy them. So, I was framing it out, as I normally do. I'm a needleworker that starts 99.9% of the time on the top in the center, so that I don't wind up not having enough linen. I can usually tell right off the bat if I've made a mistake, once I get the top in, and I will always work either with the top border or getting the top in the width of the top so that I know I'm okay. Now I've screwed up where it's been too short. I can't help that. But this has always worked for me. I don't do the 3-inch corner or the 2-inch corner or whatever. I'm, a believer in center top start. So anyway, this is what I've got in. And I was just finishing that second pillar, the left side pillar. You can see I'm filling in the last gray. I think you can see that. That's where my thread stops there. And then the more I thought about, oh my God, what am I going to do to replace those queen stitches? And because I don't know. I haven't done queen stitches in a long time. And I'd have to really, let me look at the graph here. And ladies, please correct me if I'm wrong. But aren't queen stitches like an odd shape? It's not actually, you know, squares where I could replace them with a rice stitch or a Smyrna cross, or, you know, if I wanted to do some fancy stitches, or you know, just regular cross stitch. Looking at this, which is really a tiny graph now that my eyes have gotten so bad, it looks like I'd have to do like quarter stitches to form the shape. So it'd probably have to be, you know, cross stitches, and then to make the diagonal shape, do quarter stitches. Now, let's see. Yeah, it looks like that's the only way to get around that. And the flowers, all the flowers on the sides of this one, let me get my picture back out here. There we go. All of these flowers are all queen stitches. There's some different specialty stitches down here. I thought I saw some more. There's just a whole ton of them. Yeah, those flowers, those 4 flowers on each side, are totally filled in with queen stitches. They're just not my favorite. And I'm so afraid that if I do say, okay, bite the bullet, I'm going to do them, this has already been stored for so long that I'll never finish it. I'll get aggravated with the queen stitches and drop it again, and I'll never see the light of day. You know, who knows how many more years I'm going to be able to stitch. I have, you know, failing eyesight. I have glaucoma, so I have failing eyesight that, you know, they can't do much about. I'm old. I have bad eyesight to start with. My arthritis in my hands is horrible. So just physically, I don't know how much longer I'm going to be able to do these intricate things. And I would so love to finish some of these that are just, you know, at the time were just so important for me to stitch. Anyway, if you ladies have any other suggestions what I can do, I hate to leave it. I hate that it's going to be put away again. I saw this and I almost cried. I was like, oh my God. I remember how much I love this piece, and it's just at a standstill. I would even put it back on my scroll bars, or on one of my lap stands or floor stands that I have several of, and work on it that way, so I didn't have to hold it in my hand. That's what I had wound up doing in the end, because it was so difficult for me to get either my floor stand or one of the lap stands or whatever to an angle that I could see when my eyes start faltering. And that's why I solely stitch in a hoop now, because I can hold the hoop without it being, you know, too bulky, heavy, you know, uncomfortable to hold, and stitch for hours that way, you know, as long as I, you know, stretch my fingers, and so every hour or so stitching. But I'd give it a shot. I'd put it back on a frame of some sort and see what I could do. I've since started using, you know, magnifier and all that, so, you know, maybe it would be a little bit easier for me to stitch now. I don't know, but I just so hate to put that away. Okay, this is something, oh, I was surprised to see this too. This, I don't know where I got this. It's just a paper copy. It's a blackbird, and it says a stitch along pattern from Blackbird Designs. Whether this was something maybe that was a freebie, I have no clue. I'll move my things out of the way here so you can see it. I don't, let me see if there's another picture. No, there's just, the other sheet is just the instructions. So I don't know. Anyway, this is, I'm stitching this on 40 count Rock Quarry. I don't know who that's by. And I am doing this in silks. Um, oh, I can't show you the chart, can I? Well, I'm going to have to show you the little sampler because there's no picture that's not grafted. Okay, and it's tiny. Look how little, just a little like marking sampler. And I love it. I love it on this linen. I put that on my chest for you so you can see that. I wanted to get the silks out and show you the other colors involved because they're really pretty. Oh, here it is. Moved it over here, girls. Gentlemen, ladies, everybody. That's hard to remember. This is all Belle Soie. They're in a little floss away bag, so it's kind of hard to see. But look at these pretty colors. Doesn't look like I've used any of the reds yet. A little bit. But this real pretty peach I haven't used yet. And just beautiful colors. I don't often stitch with Belle Soie. It's lovely. So that's my little sampler. See, again, the border's done, so I know I'm all set. I'm just filling in. And the reason it looks like I stopped this one is because it's the little eyelet stitches over 1 on 40 count. What is this, a 16 legs? Yep, 16 legs over 1 on 40 count with Belle Soie silk. Yeah, that's not going to happen anytime soon. I don't know. I'd like to finish it, but man, I don't know if my little eyeballs can handle that. The alphabet above it is the I don't think it's a square stitch, 4-sided stitch. And I like that a lot. That's really cool. So that's that one. I have to get back to these. Bear with me here. Let me put this back. The next one I'm looking at is one that I can probably say, let's see, 15, probably at least 8 years ago. I was working on this one. I was working on this after my mom passed, and it was a sampler for her. And it's called A Sampler for My Mother by Ori PM. Let's see if I get that close enough where you can kind of see. And again, this is another one. This was probably one of my first Quakers. And my mom was a flower lover. She loved pink. This is just so her. And because it was a sampler for my mother, it was the ideal thing. And I did remember working on this. I knew it was around somewhere. I didn't realize it was almost done. In the center, it says in loving memory. And then you put, looks like a little farther down. Let me see if I can get this up here for you so you can kind of see. This is done on that, I think it's Picture This Plus. That is like, I don't know if it's Carnival or it's a color or something on name like that, where it's got a lot of reds and blues and different color splotches in it. And it's really cool. And with the colors in the sampler, I thought, oh, perfect, perfect, perfect linen. And it is. It's permanently folded. But there's the In Loving Memory. In here will go my mom's initials, and I'd like to put the year in there also. And all I have left is this bottom corner. I'm trying to see on my chart here what that is. It's just another half circle Quaker design. Yeah, that's it. That's all I have to finish. And it's not like this one is queen stitches or anything. I guess I just got sidetracked. You know, it's probably a squirrel issue. You know, squirrel. And got sidetracked with something else. I know I was having, you know, a difficult time. My mom had dementia, so it was a very slow process, painful process for my sister and I. when we lost her. And my mom had been living with us, my husband and I, here in Wisconsin for several years at the beginning of her decline. And the weather just got to be too much for her here, and facility wasn't what I wanted her to be in. And my sister, my older sister in Florida, stepped up and said, oh no, you know, Mom's going to come and stay with us now. They found a beautiful facility down there for my mom that, you know, caters to retirees down there. It just, you know, they have so many beautiful options. And the weather my mom loved, and so it was the right thing. And my sister got to spend the last 3 years with my mom, you know, where she was only a couple blocks away from my sister. My sister was there every day, and so it was a much better situation. But anyway, you know, it was a rough loss, and I don't know if that's why I stopped this. I mean, I know I wasn't working on it until after she passed, but other than the squirrel issue, there's no reason that I really should have put that down. I have to get that finished for her. Okay, this is, I have to show you this. I worked at Country Sampler for a number of years, many years ago, and fortunately they used to get a lot of things from Blackbird that the girls, you know, didn't sell, you know, nationwide or anything. This is a mesh bag with the Blackbird fabric on it. That was just something they got a couple of, you know, from Blackbird, and, you know, sold it in the store. And Jeannie is a great one for getting the, you know, the unusual, the things that are so dear to us, and even more dear now. But anyway, I had to show you that bag. I've had that for a number of years. This is Christmas Garden. I guess I can turn the page there. Christmas Garden by Blackbird. I know all of you Blackbird lovers have seen this, probably have stitched it, watched other people stitch it. Well, you're going to be disappointed with me because I have, it's in my wood pile. I love it. I have all of their Christmas samplers. I had planned on doing all of the Christmas samplers. I do, when I go through my stack of smalls here that are finished, you'll see I actually have stitched a lot of Blackbird. But they're hidden away. This one doesn't have as much accomplished. You know what I think it is with this one? I love the colors, but to me it doesn't scream Christmas. And again, it was probably something where something more attractive caught my eye, and I was tired of, you know, the simple colors, the colors that, you know, weren't bright red and bright green. So it just got set aside and then, you know, waylaid into the I'll get to that one of these days pile. And it's such a shame. It is an absolutely beautiful sampler. The colors are gorgeous. Yes, it doesn't scream Christmas, but not everything has to. I realize. And when I looked at this, another one that was almost in tears, because I want it finished. I want so much to see these pieces finished and up on my walls here in my new house, my last house. That hopefully, with the frame of mind I have now, I'm going to do something with them. They've been put away for far, far too long. They deserve to be out. They deserve to be worked on and finished and displayed. And this is, I don't know what fabric that is. I don't think I have it marked on here. But it's in overdyed cottons, and that's what I'm using the call for on that one. Sorry, I don't know about the fabric on that one. I wasn't very good at keeping track of things. This one isn't too old of a whip. But again, this one, I love this. How many ladies have I seen? I'm sorry. How many people have I seen stitch this? And every time I see it, I just drool over it. It's being done in Soie Delger, Vera Soie. It's, I think, my only one that I've ever stitched by her. And don't ask me to pronounce that because I will murder it. But I know most of you will be familiar with this chart, and as I've seen so many people stitch this, and it is a gorgeous piece. And I look at this, and again, all I can say to myself is, why haven't you finished this? Look how much you have done. You're down to the great stuff now. You know, the motifs, that pear, I love the pear. We're getting into the house. You know, just, it's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. And to have taken the time and the patience to do the border on this one, and to put it away in a bag and forget about it when I could easily finish it, it breaks my heart. And I just have to keep that frame of mind. So I'm going to ask all of you to be my stitching police. And I know there's not supposed to be stitching police, but I'm asking you to be volunteer officers. If you would remind me when I start drifting. If I don't start showing some of these as actual whips that I have moved into my rotation, or, you know, started a rotation just with these pieces, I think it would be very kind of you. Excuse me, something fell on the floor here and I don't want it to be part of a chart. Oh, it is. It's the it's the legend to my one from the hats. Okay, I'll make sure that gets back. But please mention to me what happened to those whips you were going to work on. We'd like to see some of those. I won't be offended. I'm asking you to keep me honest. I asked my husband, but he wouldn't know, you know, which one from which. You know, is an old whip or a new whip. He just knows I'm stitching and, you know, pretty much leaves it at that. The next one I have is Mary Lee 1793 from Hands Across the Sea. This was a 2017 stitch along. So right there it tells you a lot. Oh, I'm sorry, we're showing the graph. Tells you a lot how I do stitch alongs. I had good intentions. I love this piece. I love the house. It's such an unusual house to me. I love how the wording is all in the cartouche in the middle. The border is fabulous. I love those evergreen trees. I love the trees up on top. I don't know what those are. They're great trees. That's the chart. And let's see, I'm stitching this with a Vera Soie. Soie Delger, I guess is what it's referred to. Oh, this one is really wrinkled. You're going to have to bear with me, guys. I have to put this one on the board because it's so wrinkled. You're not going to be able to see it at all. Hi, Matt. Hold, please. You can look at the back of my board for a minute. Aren't you glad you're joining me today, that you can see the back of my board and my fingers? We are discussing some cross stitch, but this I know is on either a 40 or 46. This might be a 46 count. Let's see where we can start this here. Got the top border done. It looks like with the side. Oh, I have the whole border done. Oh, have the whole border done. There's a good part of the house that looks like I haven't done the roof. Excuse me, I have a big long hair on there. You can tell that that's a long time ago when I had long hair. The house is pretty much done. The border. I even have the border flowers filled in. My God. Why haven't I finished this? Why? Why? I know she's a big girl. But look how much I've done. How much more could there possibly be? The wording, okay, so the wording is over 1, I'm sure. Yes, it is. The wording is over 1, and this has got to be, avalanche. This has got to be 46 count. It's got to be. When I look at those words. That's really tiny, and I'm doing full crosses, so that's really tiny. Could have been the reason I stopped, but there was other things to work on. If, you know, I did a little bit of the wording and then went on to something else. There's no excuse. I'm not making excuses. Excuses don't fly with me anyway. I just have no explanation whatsoever for why I've let these sit as long as I have. And they're probably permanently wrinkled now. I don't know if I'll ever get these folds out of them. But she's another big girl. So that's her. Avalanche. Okay, let me put this one back in its bag. And I did say that was being done with silk. I don't have, or maybe I do have the linen on here. Nope, I guess I don't see where it's written. It's probably whatever was called for at the time on the chart. But I'm not sure about that. And let's see what this is. Oh, this is a small, I don't have a lot done on this one, I know. But again, you can see my love of the real life looking, real life looking Santas that look, you know, the human looking Santas, I should say. Okay. This is a magazine. Oh, I guess that's another one I wanted to do. For the Love of Cross Stitch, this is on the cover. Santa with the bird. He's a woodland Santa. Just beautiful. That's the chart. And this is being done in DMC. And I said, I don't have a large start on this one, but again, I have his face, and that is just what, oh God, I have to do. I have to just say, and again, he's not backstitched yet. I don't do the backstitching usually until the end to make sure that I'm not, having to rip anything out. That's my woodland Santa. Just beautiful. This looks like a little bigger count. Maybe this might be on 32. Let's see if I wrote anything down on this one. Oh, first of all, it looks like I started it on November 14th, 2004. It must be 2000. Yep, I guess so. And I was trying to see if I could tell. Oh, Sandy Gore Evans is the designer of this piece. And I'm sorry, she must be the artist. And the needlework adaptation was done by Sandy Orton, who is one of my absolute favorites. I've done several pieces of hers. And I just love her things. So that's Santa. And then looks like I have this one too. Now this is, let's see, this is January 1999. But he was another one, it looks like. I know I haven't started this. And I wouldn't do it in an Afghan. He'd be done too as a small piece. But he's also a real pretty Santa. So at least I kept the Santas together. Not that they're done or anything, but my intention was, you can see that at least sometimes I was thinking that there was reasoning behind some of these decisions I'd made. I think that that's it for that whip pile. Let me move these out of the way so we don't have another avalanche. And I guess it's time. I don't know how many of you ladies can tolerate much more of this, much more of me. But I do have my pile of smalls that I'd like to go through quickly. And before I do that, I have to make a disclaimer. that these are things that I stitched. As I said, the first one is my first cross stitch piece, and I've been stitching for over 50 years. So it's a cross between 50 years ago and probably maybe the latest ones would have been 4 or 5 years ago. I think some of them look kind of, not too old. There's no charts. I don't know what they're stitched on. Some of them I can kind of recognize whose they are, but it's a free-for-all. I just want to show you these because I have a stack of them, and I want you to see that I actually do some different stitching. This is my first cross stitch piece on Aida, and I'm sure that's 14 count Aida. Besides Santa's, I also collect teddy bears, so it was a given. It was a nice, easy one. It was pretty easy counting. I know at the time there were some mistakes in them, because I remember I was very frustrated with myself that, it was the, stitch off here or there. But I got through it. I got it finished. I've never done anything with it, but I really think I'm going to have to get a cheapy frame. This one is one I will attempt to frame myself, because, it wouldn't be a great loss if it doesn't turn out wonderfully. But, it should be in my stitching room as my very first piece. I have no idea whose chart that is, or 50 years ago. Okay, you ready for some of these? Now, I'm going to move this pile over. Just bear with me one more second. I'm going to stop this and hope I can come right back, ladies, because I have a doggy that wants to get out of my room. So if you just bear with me one second, I'll be right back. Okay, I hope I'm back. All right, I'm just going to kind of go through these kind of quick. America, land that I love. Got a cute little flag button on there. Don't have any idea whose that is. Another patriotic, being the cow person I am. Little moo cow with the little star buttons. If I know who these are by, I will tell you. Let's put it that way. I could picture this chart, but I can't think of the name of the designer. I know you're probably all yelling at me. And this is done over one, I think on 28 or 32. This might be 32. Bunny. This is cherished memories, cherished moments, cherished something or other. Stitching Bunny. And she's got little beads, and I put button on her dress, and really cute. I don't have any idea who this is by, but I also love violets, and I thought that was so pretty. There was a whole set of them because I have like 3 more pieces of this fabric cut, but since I have no idea what chart this is, I guess I'll never get them done, but I do like this one. This is a piece that I stitched right after my late husband passed in '92. Again, I'm sorry, I don't know who the chart is by. It's Memories Locked in the Heart, and it's my husband and I's name and his birthday and death date. And after I finished this, I had such a horrible time grieving for him that I couldn't even display it. I didn't want to look at it after I finished it, so it's never been displayed. This is the charts by a gentleman that they're like on cardboard kind of, and they're long, skinny. He has several different collections that he had done. Of course, his name escapes me, but I know who I'm talking about. I guess this was a Santa's collection. Cute little Santa. I like how his beard wraps around him. And of course, this is one with the the lion and the lamb, you know, and had to get my animals in there. So that's 3 of that series I had done. This I found, and I do remember stitching this, and when I pressed it with a steam iron, and my floss in the center ran. I don't know if you can see that. The rise and shine wording. It doesn't look bad. And now in my new house, I have a coffee bar. So I am going to also attempt to frame this one myself or finish it somehow. Maybe I'll just do a little like hanging quilt, and I can put it hanging from the cabinet above my coffee bar. And only I will know that that actually ran, and it doesn't really matter. I just think it would be cool. I never had a place to put it before. I want to say this reminds me of a blackbird, but I don't know that it is. Kind of true, I will always be to you. I know you guys that are blackbird aficionados would know whether that is or not. It probably isn't, but again, I'm not sure who this is by, but I love this. Look at the color of this linen. I wish it's a lot brighter orange than, you know, it's getting washed out by the camera, but God, that's really cool. That was a lot of fun to stitch. And he's just got his neck sticking up there, and his head's on the bird. I love it. And then we have this one. If I stitch fast, does it count as aerobic exercise? With the needle. Cute. Really cute. And then we have some Thanksgiving, Bountiful, with the little turkey or little leaf button that goes on him somewhere. Probably in that empty spot there above the turkey, I would assume. Screech, Trick or Treat. Don't know. This is a blackbird, but I don't know the name of this, and I no longer have the chart. So again, maybe you ladies can at least yell into the screen what this is. Beautiful fall piece. I'd love to have that one out for Thanksgiving this year in my new house. Very cool. And now we jump back to Halloween. Frank, look at his eyes. They're like little buttons with beads in the center. So they like bulge out. Isn't he cute? Him I will definitely make into a stand-up for Halloween. This one I stitched, I believe, for my late husband too, and again I couldn't display it. And it just says, "Hold me in your heart." This is chatelaine or something to that, something close to that. The design, isn't that pretty? It's so delicate. A lot of specialty stitches in this one too. A lot of fun to stitch, although so it was a very hard time for me. And it kind of helped to have my needlework and be working on something that was for him, because he supported me 100%, just like Rob does. Have a cow. I have no idea who that's. That's fine. But he's very cute. I like the chicken. Chicken's wild. And that's on a piece of purple linen. Cock-a-doodle-doo, 2003. Boy, that's a thin piece of linen, isn't it? I probably should have my little board up here so you can see him a little better. That's very cool. Looks very fall to me, too. This is a little by little, I think. But maybe remember some of these. I'm starting to feel like I know what I'm talking about. I caught a hare alive. I let it go again. And that one's for my Rosie. She's chasing off. We have a lot of bunnies around this new house. And she's chasing my bunnies all the time. the little monster. So I should dedicate that one to Rosie. Leave the bunnies alone. This one is, I know, out of that country something or other magazine that was around Jeremiah Junction a number of years ago. And this was going to be a set of 3 or something also, because I had the other linens. They're all on colored linen. But that'll never happen, because I don't have the magazine any longer. This was a little winter one I thought was very cute because of the buttons. Little fence posts. Snowmen. Very cute. This one is, I think, might be a la-di-da. Let's see what. A bunny, of course. I've always been a stitching bunny. Stitching pox, extremely contagious, no known cure. I should have had that during COVID. I could have called it stitching pox. Because I think that's what the majority of us did with our time at home. This is a set that I was doing and obviously lost interest in. It's supposed to be a monthly sampler, and I did up to April. And I think, I'm pretty sure these are Waxing the Moon. She might still have them available. I know I've gotten rid of the charts because they're all pretty big size, and it was a lot of time invested in stitching these, and I was on to other things then. February. I mean, they're beautiful. I love Waxing the Moon anyway. But March, very cool. The kite. And then April with the spring showers. Look at the rain cloud with the rainbow. Isn't that neat? I mean, they really are neat. These should go to someone that could frame them and enjoy at least 4 months of the year. Oh dear. This is another oldie but goodie, one of my Santa. This is probably the second or third one I did when I got hooked on cross stitch, because it's still on Ada, and I didn't stitch on Ada for very long. And this is probably something out of Leisure Arts too. It looks like one of their Santa collections. This one is also very old. This might have been my second one. Father in heaven, Father above, help me to live my life filled with love, so that when I reach that great needlework shop in the sky, I'll get a hoop and a needle and lots of cross-stitch supplies. Who doesn't want that to be words to live by? Kind of cute. Well, a lot of these are on Ada. These I remember making for my late husband. We had our first yellow lab was Daphne, and she was just such a little lady. She was such a wonderful dog. And I wanted a yellow lab, and George agreed because he was a hunter, and he thought, oh, great, lab, I can take it hunting with me. Well, there was no way I was going to let my dog go out and get wet. And I've been sitting out in the field with my husband all day long, or in a tree stand, so every time he decided he was going to take her to try to train her to, retrieve and stuff, I put the kibosh on that. So Daphne never learned to hunt, but we loved her to pieces. There she is that's as close as she got to hunting, is Daddy's camouflage hat. And here's a few more older ones. This is Cherished, whatever again, Cherished Teddies, I guess. Being a teddy bear girl. And these pastels are so pretty. Just cute little pieces. This I remember stitching. She's a little cross stitcher. This was done in 1993 before I met Robbie. So it was still my other married name. But cute, isn't it? She got her little hoop. That's me. And my old hoops. Let Freedom Ring. This is cute. This must have been a little kit. Because it's not in there really big. Oh, it looks like even maybe like 20 count or something. Looks like just one strand of, no, I don't know. I can't tell. Anyway, it's cute. These should all be framed for my holiday decorations. Oh, look at this. This is Ben Creek. I can tell because the little chart's still in here. Little snowman. Snow person. Don't want to play sides here. Cute. He's very cute. He'd be cute as a little stand-up, too. This I made for Robbie. And when I pulled it out, I was looking at these. I thought, oh, God. You know, my poor husband. He's not the teddy bear type, but I thought, you know, this is really cute. So it's supposed to be his Christmas stocking. But as you can see, it's not a stocking. Oh, is that one? I'm sorry. Let me this fold it up here. I'm making more of a mess than it's worth. Okay, up on the rooftop, of course, for my doggies. I like the bone in his little dish that's sitting in the snow. This one, I don't know if this is a Chessiany, if this is something from Country Sampler. It seems like it's back from around that time. Not sure. Pretty colors though, pretty pinks, corals. And I even stitched over one on this one. Oh, 1999, yeah. Very cool. I like that one a lot. That'd be a pretty little finished piece if it was finished. This is Snowflakes Fall and a Curtain of White covering Christmas with Peace and Light. Not sure who this is by. I do like my signature on this one though. My little initials and script. Isn't that pretty? It's done in a real pretty gray, which is what winter or the time of year looks like around here in Wisconsin. This is a little stitching bunny, just a little tiny over one kind of thing. Made many, many years ago. I have no idea what this fabric is. It's pretty pink, whatever it is. Doesn't look familiar. This one I actually had the chart for also. This is the drawn thread, and it's There's No Place Like Home. And I guess I still have the chart because there's a little heart button in there that's supposed to be stitched in between the wording on the bottom. There's No Place Like Home. And this is stitched over one. Looks like it's on 20 count over one. A little tiny, but very cool. You can tell my eyes were much better back then. Back in the day when I could see. This I'm almost positive is a Chessie and Me. Let Freedom Ring. I love her use of specialty stitches too. And the little kids and the kitty are all stitched over one. There's a lot of over one in this one. It's in specialty stitches. So I had to sign it in over one too. By my hand. Oh, so cute. This is a more current piece, and I love this piece. And why this is not finished in my room, I have no explanation. Thread gathering with the silk, the satin stitch on the spools. Cotton wool silk, cotton wool silk. Isn't that great? Great colors. I remember stitching this one. That was a lot of fun to do too. This one, when I was looking at this earlier today, I thought something's off on this. I don't know. I guess it was when I was charting my name or something. And again, I don't know who this is. If this is blackbird. It looks like it could be, but I have no idea. Look at my words on the bottom, how they're not even. They go up on an angle, and when I stitched this, I never noticed that, because I would not have left it that way. So this is within the last 20 years, because it's cross-planes. So this is probably when I worked at Country Sampler, and it was something that they, could have even been one of their patterns. I don't know. But I love it. I don't know if I could stand looking at that Cross Plains, Wisconsin, though. That's crooked. I don't know. Probably make me crazy, knowing that I let that go. This we know is a blackbird. And to all a good night. My dog snuck back in again, guys. So if she gets loud, we'll have this. Love this. Love, 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 love this. Love this. The candles in the window. And this is just so cool. Very neat. Got a couple of blackbirds here in a row, guys. Merry Christmas, blackbird. And this is on a really unusual color green. It's over dyed. So it's got green and it's like almost a brownish, goldish color on top. So that it's not, there's no way you can pick up the color of that one. But it looks very old. Really cool. Merry Christmas. This also is blackbird, we know. Blessings be thine. This is that same green. It's that same piece of fabric. But it's just so much, it's darker on this. No, it's still washed out. Very cool though. This one I'm not sure about. This is done on a very small count over one. I'm not sure what it is. But it's just a tiny fallen. Look at how cool that is. It's done in a real pretty orange, coppery orange fabric that is just washing out totally. That bottom there a little bit. See the little, that's more of a, right here on my fingers down here is more of the actual color. There you go. That's kind of the color. Isn't that cool? Let's see, blackbirds. Look at the beaks on those guys. This one I'm almost sure is a Not Forgotten Farm. Again, I could be wrong, but I'm almost sure. Very fall. And this is on a real pretty yellow fabric. And again, it's just totally washing out with this light. I can't get it to show the actual color, but it's almost like a banana yellow. Really cool. This one I believe is a la-di-da also. Little bunny. Oh, that's really bad. Let's set my board and help with that one. There we go. There's my bunny. Isn't she cute? She has carrots. She's not stitching. And we have Winter Wonderland. This is Little House or Cottage, whatever. I would assume it's one of those. That's really cute. That looks like Wisconsin. Okay. Oh, back to more blackbird. I have no idea what the name of this one is, because I no longer have the chart, I know. Colors in this are wonderful. So bright. And it's on a darker tan. It's on a tan color linen. It's not really, again, not really showing that, but the colors look fabulous on that. This is another Little House or whatever. It's while snow is softly falling, gliding gently to the ground, our neighbors from the forest cozy up and gather round. How cute is that? Great little house. The bunny and the deer. Very cool. Cool border. I love the snowflakes in there. And this is on a real pretty like bluish gray too, like the Wisconsin sky in winter. This is Halloween. I have no idea where this chart is from, but it's, I did this on 40 count over 1 on black to tell you, as I said, I used to have eyesight. Really, that'd be really cute. Quick to finish. These are going to have to stay out too so that I can finish some of them. My needle and floss, they comfort me. Very cool. This reminds me of my Flosstube girls that I did. And this is a blackbird, I believe. You can correct me if I'm wrong. This is on that same green fabric, so it must have all been in one book or something I had. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year, 2003. Cool. Now these two, I stitched both of these when we moved into our yellow house in Cross Plains 20 years ago. And it even has the address on there. This is the house we just moved out of. Bless our home. We put our house up, the realtor put it up for sale on Friday, I believe it was the 31st of July, and it sold. There was an open house that Sunday, and we had 7 offers on it Monday, and it sold. And we're very pleased. We're closing on it this Friday. Cross stitcher in residence, and again the yellow house. Because my little house, we called it the Cheese Castle. It's up here in Wisconsin. Of course, it was a cheese castle. This one I'm very intrigued by. I'm not sure who this is by. To me, it seems like it might be like By the Bay Needle Arts or something. It's called Fall. It's such a little tiny piece. But the detail in this, look at those trees. Is that great or what? I love it. Look at the acorn on the bottom with the satin stitches. Just absolutely gorgeous. There's actually even little blackbirds in those trees. Love it. Love it. Love it. A lot of confetti stitching in that one, I remember. This one is really old. This is done on, what is it, 22 Hardinger's 22 count over 1 with metallics. Santa that I have no idea who the chart is by, but he's got little, I guess it's just, yeah, the metallic, I thought it was little beads on there, but it's just the metallic stitches, and then it's outlined with the metallic, so it looks like little beads. But he's got a great face for being not a real intricate Santa. He's got a pretty face. And then I have one more. Finally, I have one more, and I'm ending with the blackbird. And again, I have no idea what the name of this is, what book it was in, but I know it's a blackbird. Stitched in 2003. Love it, love it, love it. Such beautiful colors, and the vining on the house. Oh my God. Got a couple little specialty stitches in it, I think. There's a Smyrna there, or a eyelet. Some lazy daisies. There's some more eyelets. I like that about blackbird too, how they would throw in a couple of those little specialty stitches here and there that would make such a difference to the way the piece would turn out. Just exquisite. I don't think they've ever done anything that I haven't thought was just absolutely the best. Buy all the blackbirds. Brenda and Laura are not wrong. If you didn't know that before, believe me, take those ladies up on that. Buy all the blackbirds. Well, that's my stack of smalls that I have finished. I think I do have some stash. Are you ladies going to bear with me, do you think? Let me move this out of the way. I'm sorry, making lip noises here. I'll be quiet. Let's see. I do have, all this time, you would think that I'd have a ton of stash. And I do, but a lot of it because we were moving and I didn't want to keep things out. You know, I wanted them in a place where I'd find them when I unpacked. I did not separate or keep everything that I bought separate. Okay, we have a couple of things. I think in this one, this must have been the bag du jour that was in the front, so I stuck everything. I stuck this whole haul in that one bag. This I might have bought on the secondary market, maybe from Stash Unload or something. But being the Christmas nut I am and the sampler nut I am, Christmas samplers are just the ultimate to me. And this is, it's by Cherish Stitches, and it's a Christmas sampler. 'Tis a season of thanks and good wishes. And it has the floss, DMC floss with it, and the linen. Looks like it's 36 count metal rue by Lakeside. Isn't that spectacular? You know, and it doesn't look like it'd take very long to stitch. There's a lot of open space. Kind of a simple border. Looks like you get in the rhythm of that border and be able to get that done pretty quickly. I think it's just regular cross stitch. I don't see off the top here anything that's, there might be a couple eyelet stitches in here. I'd have to look at the graph, but just a beautiful piece. Love that. Then in that same bag, what else have I stuck in here? Oh, God bless this land, from hill to sea. Christ be the gift to set us free. And this is from Plum Street. This was all kitted, so the chart is in here, along with the linen and the, looks like DMC and some over-dyed threads, but it's the whole kit. And that's a real recent one. Really unusual for a Christmas piece, and I love it. Absolutely love it. And then, of course, this one, this is also, I bought this kitted. Santa Stop here. Oh, this one I got from Katie Strachan. This is her original silken version. And there's the chart. And her silk. So, and I haven't used, I've used 103, but this has got gobelins in it. There's a metallic in it. I'm really looking forward to this. That's the first one I've bought from her, and of course it'd have to be a Christmas one. Has to be with their needle and thread. Just gorgeous. So that's those three in that bag. I think there's something in this one. Oh, yes, this I got at Hobby House. This is, I probably, I would think that you probably have seen or heard about this if you follow Hobby House at all, or any of the ladies that have gone there. This is the Mary Elkhorn 1764 Sampler Series. And what they're doing at Hobby House, this is a sampler drum. Actually, I can cover this up. Hold on a second. Let me do this so that I can show you this picture. Um, this picture is the sampler, and that's really a small picture. I understand it. It's hard to see. And she's taking motifs from the original sampler and doing things like this. This is the first in a series. There's going to be a couple of other, and then eventually the entire sampler chart will be released. So, of course, I had to do that. Let's see if she says in here, I know at one point somebody mentioned how many of the pieces there would be. Let's see. The series will include a variety of smalls, and the final release will be the reproduction of the original sampler. And I got the floss with that. That's overdyed, pretty overdyed cottons, Weeks and Classic Colorworks. Just beautiful sampler colors. And it's going to be stitched on 40 count Thornfield by Needle and Flax. And I love Needle and Flax linen. I watched Rachel. I have to stop and think. I watched Rachel's latest Flosstube yesterday. And, you know, she mentioned several times, you know, if you like using my linen, if not, use somebody else. You know, there's lots to pick from out there. I love your linen, Rachel. I just love your linen. And every opportunity I have to use it, I do. So thank you very much for providing us with such a lovely, lovely linen. Lovely to work on. This one I hesitate to show because this is going to be a gift for my husband. And he usually watches my videos because he critiques me. So I'm going to show this anyway, because it's not like I'm going to stitch it, you know, like right real soon, and he's going to have it. He'll forget about it by the time I get stitching this for him. But this is the Heartstring Samplery, and it's Rock and Roll Sampler. And of course, it's my type of sampler. It's beautiful. But if you look at it, the angel, the one angel is supposed to be Elvis. And there's just, you know, like these pots down here look like guitars to me. You know, it's strictly, it is rock and roll. The one hoop up here, which side is it? It's this one. Has notes in it instead of letters. And then, of course, I had to get this. A little bit sampler and a little bit rock and roll. I believe her husband makes these. That's the floss holder. And I'll probably have to give him this with it once it's stitched, because that's just so cool for him. He's an old rock and roller. And I should show you this bag. I bought this from somebody. In fact, I think I bought this from somebody in the UK. I don't believe she made it, but she had it in, wasn't using it, but it's got, this is really neat. It's got a pocket back here, along with the zippered vinyl piece, and the fabric is just to die for. I wish I could get my hands on some of this fabric for stitching bunny bags. I've never seen it though, so I don't know if it is UK exclusive or what, but I love it. This is another one I love. This is from Vintage Stitchers, and this is handmade. This is, I can't think of the name of, this is fabric, I think it's from Australia. Just absolutely gorgeous. Look at this. Just gorgeous. Along with the little floss holder. Anyway, let me show you the cross-stitch piece. This is Hannah Wilson, and by Needlework Press. And this was a exclusive again from Hobby House. And it's an Ackworth sampler by Needlework Press from the Homespun Needlework Facebook group. Am I showing that enough where you can see? And it's going to be stitched on 40 count Eureka linen by Fox and Rabbit. Just wanted to see what the color. Oh, very pretty. Very pretty, creamy. Again, the color is going to wash out, so but it's like a creamy, almost a very pale butter yellow. Just gorgeous. And it's going to be stitched in silk. I believe it's Pinky Dyes. Let me check. Yes, it's Dinky Dyes silks, and it's like a brownish black gray combo called Mud Flats, which is really a good description of the color. I love that. And it came with the counting pins also. Love that. So glad I was able to get that. I love that Facebook group and her exclusives and all the work that lady does. Julie, I believe her first name is Julie Cursive. Something like that. Anyway, love that. You can see I was, I wasn't actually shopping so much in the shops as I was, with the exclusives, and, I'd see something that was really unusual, and got to get that. I don't think I have this lady's card. Oh, wait, maybe I do. Nope. Anyway, I bought this off of Facebook, I believe, it's my birthday stitch. I just love that. It's birthday fabric. So cute, so cute. Had to have it. It was like a one of, it had called my name. And I said, okay, I will answer. There's two pieces in here. This one I'm not sure. This one goes with this. I think I just ordered this. I'm trying to think. I don't think it was an exclusive or anything to that effect. I think it was just a chart I had to have. Oh, actually, yes, it's from 2011, so it's not a brand new chart. But I didn't have this one. I love to have the Scarlet House ones. And I can't remember ever seeing this one. Anyway, getting back to the chart. Scarlet House, and it is Sarah Elizabeth Brooke, 1842. Look at that great house with the plaid or checkered entryway. Isn't that great? Some great people and funky people. I love it. The birds flying over, the little birds, and then there's some really big freaking birds. Very cool, very cool. So I had to have that added to my Scarlet House, collection. Then this is one of the last ones I think I got. This is Elizabeth Lincoln. I'm getting tired of talking. Elizabeth Lincoln, 1815, a reproduction antique sampler from Northumberland Sampler House. And they are just one of my favorites. I've stitched several of her samplers, and they're always just a joy to work on. They're so well charted, so well done, such care to detail with these. And the neat thing of this is it's a Christmas sampler, and the stitch along is starting September 1st, and I thought this was so cool. Do not open until 1st of September 2023. So I haven't. I've been very good. I was showing my husband. I said, see, I'm holding off. Now this came with the linen. This is the Christmas sampler stitch along. It's Northumberland. This is her own. She is dyeing fabrics now also. And for the longest time, she was only selling in the beginning, she was only selling her linen in the UK. But she is now also shipping to us here. I think she probably might even be in some of the shops here. That is 40 count linen, and this color is biscuit. And she even has it wrapped with Merry Christmas ribbon, because this is our Christmas stitch along. It's going to be stitched in Belle Soie, and it came with the beautiful colors and our floss bling. And I'm sorry, that didn't come with that floss bling is different. This is the one that came with the Christmas sampler. And this is so cool because it's got a Christmas tree, a reindeer, and a star. And look at the floss drop or floss bling. It's a reindeer. Isn't that the neatest thing? So that should be with my sampler, with my threads. And on September 1st, when I am able to open that, I'm going to get it all set up, and we're just going to be so cute. And we're going to start that one. That's going to be a start September 1st for me. So that's why that's staying out in my recent bag. And I think that's it. I think that's all I have for that. The only other thing I'd like to do is take a minute to, first of all, thank everyone for sending me such nice messages, hoping my move was going well, asking me to please, come back and do a video. And I think especially for while I was gone and my Etsy shop was closed, for being so kind and patient. I hated closing down my shop for the 2 months. I was so afraid that when I came back that nobody was going to remember stitching bunny bags. And right before I stopped, after my last sale, which must have been maybe June 1st, because I must have been gone June, or as far as sewing, June and July, it seems. The shop was closed. Anyway, regardless, doesn't matter. Right before I shut the shop down, and we started packing, because we found out everything was going to be moving so fast, I had started a couple of my project rolls and had done the basic sewing, cutting them out, getting them measured, putting them together, getting them ready to be quilted, which is a long process in itself. So I had 6 of those, I believe, started, and to the point where they were ready for me just to sit down and quilt them. So when I got here, and the first thing I had set up was the kitchen so we could live here. The next room I picked to work on was this one. So this room is pretty much together except for the closet. It still has a few boxes in there, but I'm still trying to figure out how I want to organize that, because that's going to be so much of my storage in there. So that, this was my second room. And then just within the last maybe 2 weeks, I went down to the studio and tried to start unboxing sewing machines and setting up my cutting table and my actual sewing machine table, which is huge. And to the point where I was able to sit down and stitch. However, just setting those pieces up wasn't going to do it. I did find the pieces that I had started and, was ready to quilt them, but that involved finding all of my threads, my different walking feet and all for my machines. My machine that I use 99% of the time, my Bernina, had been in the shop for I take that back. They said 6 weeks. It was almost 8 weeks that it was in the shop. And excuse me, a day or so before our move, when the movers were actually coming, they called, or I should say I called them, and asked them if there was any chance my machine was going to be ready. It was well over 6 weeks. And I used that machine for my business. And they were very kind and said, well, let me check. That day, they moved my machine up to the top of the list. It was ready the next day, and they told me to come in and pick it up. And I was just thrilled, because that is my baby. That machine is my most accurate and how I feel the most comfortable sewing something that I'm going to sell to the public. So I had my machine back, but I hadn't used that machine in 2 months. So I'd been using 2 other machines in the meantime, 2 other backup machines. One was a baby lock, and one was a small Bernina. but work totally different than my old machine. And that old machine is probably, 15, 17 years old, something like that. So the new machines work totally differently. So I had to reteach myself, how to use these other machines to the point where I could actually be efficient during those, 2 months that my old machine was being fixed. And then when I got the machine back, it had been so long. We'd moved in between. I was totally discombobulated where things were. And I had to get back up to speed and try to finish those project rolls to have something to have for sale for August. I didn't want the shop to be closed for another month. I still haven't unbagged all of my quilt fabric that I brought from the other house. So I just worked with what I had. So I could put some things online August 2nd. I opened my shop with very limited number of things. And lo and behold, people had not forgot about me. Everything was pretty much sold out that evening. Well, I put the items online at 7 p.m. in the evening on the 2nd of August, and pretty much, I think maybe I had 4 or 5 items that were still left the following morning. They were gone by noon the next day. So I totally sold out. I am starting from square one again, which is fine. I'm going to be back up and running full steam. I'm going to have a friend of mine help me cut probably some of the fabric for me, so I can sit at the machine. They are all going to be made by me. She's going to help out with the time-consuming cutting things and getting the batting cut and that type of thing, I hope. I don't know. I'm still on the wall, on the fence about that, because I feel so strongly that anything that I sell with my name on it, with Stitching Bunny bags on it, is 100% made by me. I'm real funny about that. If there's an issue, where something is wrong with it or whatever, or on the other hand, if somebody is totally blown away by the work I've done on it, which I hope is the case, it's totally me. It's totally something I produced. It's something that I have put my heart, my sweat into, and I'm very proud of it, and that's why I put my name on it. So I'm undecided whether I'm going to let somebody help me or not. My friend has offered, and she's very kind, and my friend Val is the one that helped us move, the only one that we could count on to help us move, and she did a magnificent job. But I think I'm going to bring her over here for company while I'm working more than actually helping me, because I am, the soul of Stitching Bunny bags. So, needless to say, Stitching Bunny bags is open again. However, there's nothing in my shop right now. My next sale will be September 1st, which is a Friday. I'm not sure the time of the posting, whether it'll be morning or evening, whatever. It depends on how much I'm still scampering that last week to hand finish the project rolls, because there is a lot of handwork at the end. So it depends on what kind of shape I'm in. I'm working on a couple of new items that I'm trying to get in there in production, but it takes me so long to work on the project rolls, and there's still so much in demand with all of the retreats and everything now that have started up, ones that have gotten back into rotation after COVID, where people are actually wanting to be in crowds again, and wanting to be with their friends and meeting, and going to retreats. I'm working on a retreat mat that I want to develop. There's a couple of things. But all of that takes time. Prototypes take time. It's taking me away from my machine to do my production work. So, we're working on that slowly. It's not going to be a bunch of items at one time, even though I have several things in mind. It'll be one, probably roll out 1 month, and then, give me the next month to work on a second new item. We'll see how that goes. But Stitching Bunny bags is back. I can't thank you enough. Everyone that purchased something from me, that is pleased with something they purchased from me, it just means so much to me. You have no idea. It's something I hope I can continue doing for many years to come. I love it. I absolutely love it. It is not a drudgery at all. If it ever gets to be the point where I just can't even stand the thought of going downstairs and sewing one more project roll, I'll let you know before that happens. So, but I don't see that anywhere in the near future because I'm just loving every minute of it. And my new studio is going to be dynamite. I have natural light. I was in a basement in my old house with no windows. I had so many lights I had to have plugged in that it was hot down there. It was just, it was rough at times because I just needed all that artificial light to do any type of work, especially cutting, especially with my eyes. Everything has to be bright. If there's any darkness, it's twice as dark to me. I can't walk into a dark room. It's like a black hole to me, so it was very difficult working in those, in that dark basement. This house, my studio downstairs has these 3 big windows just like this one has. There's 2 windows on that side wall. My cutting table is in front of those 2 windows. My sewing machine, my back is to that wall with the window, so the natural light is hitting my sewing machine. It is absolutely fabulous. I have one light that is a spotlight on my machine, on the actual needle on my machine that illuminates my needle, more than just the machine light itself. I have an actual spotlight, like a laser light, and that works tremendously for me because it lights up what I have to actually see. So it is a 1,000% improvement. It's just that I've got the big things up, but I'm still walking around boxes to get, and as I said, my fabric hasn't been unpackaged yet. It was just all thrown in the moving van. We have movers, and it was tons and tons and tons of fabric that had to be moved. So it was just packaged in big trash bags, to the heaviest point. We had young men moving these things. We couldn't drag them. There were like 17 stairs down to that basement, so to drag those bags of heavy fabric up the stairs wasn't going to happen. So these young men that moved us were terrific. But everything is now deposited in the basement level of my house, which is below my sewing studio. We have an actual basement, a full basement, and there's all kinds of storage in there, but there's probably about 30 huge black garbage bags filled with my fabrics that have to be sorted back out. They were all labeled by, yardage and, displayed on wire racks in my old studio. And I have those wire racks in that basement. I just have to get, a day or two with my husband and I working at getting those bags open and getting the fabric out so I can actually work. But anyway, again, I'm running on. Anybody that didn't want to hear about stitching bunny bags, I hope you turned this off before I started rambling. But I did so dearly want to thank all of you who messaged me, who was concerned, wanted to know how the move was going, giving me advice. Honest to God, this is the best community of people I have ever had the pleasure to deal with. And I promised myself that probably not anymore this year because so many of the retreats are booked, but next year I've already told my husband I have to get back into going to retreats. I have talked to so many of you ladies through Stitching Bunny Bags, through Flosstube, that have reached out, commented to me. I want to meet you people in person. I want to meet you stitchers. And the one I so dearly hope that with all of my heart that I can get into next year is Spring Green. It would be the easiest one for me because it would not be, there's no airfare involved, there's no hotel involved. I can come home and, be with my family in the evening because probably, we're a little bit further out now. I'm in Madison rather than in Cross Plains. And Cross Plains was just a straight shot into Spring Green, where now I'm a little bit south of there and farther east. So it's a little bit further drive. It certainly isn't anything that's, dramatic. At most, it's, 45 minutes to an hour, depending on, which route you take and if you run into traffic, because there is more traffic out here in Madison. But so I'm still, very, very close. But that one, I would probably sell my youngest born child, if I had one, to get into that summer retreat next year. So we'll see. But I do want to start doing the retreats again. So at this point, I guess it's time for me to say goodbye, to let you poor people finally get up, and I hope you stopped this if you had to make a potty rest or whatever. Next time, I hope to be a little more organized. I'm going to be doing a lot more stitching. We're watching the Brewers almost every evening now. So that's my stitch time. That's my dedicated stitching time. And you're going to see, I hope, to get some of these whips, old ancient whips, in some type of order. I can get them in a book where I can keep track of them and get them in a rotation, because I want to start working on them. They just make my heart happy to look at them, and I can't wait to get the ones that I have. Everything, the thread is, the floss is still out, the chart's there, the linen is, the project is there, and I can just pick it up and work on it from where I left off. And there's an awful lot of those that I can do that too. So sprinkled in with a few new starts, because I have a lot of, I have plans. Anyway, I'm going to let you go at this point. Any segments that we usually have that I didn't this time, we'll have back in the next Flosstube, which I hope and pray will be 2 weeks. I'm going to get back on my schedule, give or take a day. It usually is a weekend where I have a more of a chance to sit and record. Not that I have a job or anything, but it usually just schedule-wise, that's when it kind of, fits in for me to do it. So we're going to keep on a 2-week schedule, give or take a day.